Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to 2020. It's here. We made it. Did we? We did. You're watching this, so you made it. So, anyway, I'm hoping that you are. I know you're going to have an awesome year, and I know everyone's got their planners out and coming up with goals and words of the year and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of fun. And definitely, I've been caught up in that wave. So, I just know it's going to be such a great year. And any pains, any hurts, any downfall, any things that have kind of that made us feel going downward, or any sort of jabs at us in 2019. These can really be ways to lessons really that we can bring into this year. So anyway, there's a very roundabout and awkward way of saying I'm glad you're here. So, with the new year and we had the holidays and all that, obviously it's festive, and there has been, a lot of you may be drinking a little bit more than normal, and that's totally normal. That's expected. And what I wanted to talk about today was signs that you may be drinking a little bit more than normal. Now it's Jan 2nd. All the hoopla is kind of behind us. Most of you are going back to business as usual. But for some people, I get messages fairly regularly from people who are concerned about themselves or concerned about a loved one who about the drinking starting to go up on the uprise a bit for themselves. And a lot of times this could be situational. Some stressful, it could be divorce, or it could be something even like retirement, all these kind of things. There might be situations where there's an uptick in our drinking. And I wanted to talk about some signs that your drinking may be on the increase. Now, I'm not talking about people who identify as alcoholics. I'm just talking about 90% of the population who do not identify that, but are starting to worry a little bit about themselves. I just want to say hello, Shelly, Armando, Jenna, how are you? Eric, happy New Year, buddy. Thanks for being here, guys. Mikey, UK Mike, glad you're here. So I just have about 9 or 10 signs that your drinking may be increased. And again, this is not to say that you're now going to start getting into the path of alcoholism, nothing like that, but definitely ways that you can sort of mark. You may not even be aware that these are impacting you. So the first one is, it's very obvious, of course, you're drinking more, but let's say you have a bottle of wine a week or every 2 weeks. You might notice now that you start to go for the backups, right? You have the one bottle, but now you're like, well, we should have that other one just in case. And if you're anything like how I was, I made sure I had 10 backups. But if you notice that you're looking for the backups, that might be a sign that you're starting to up your use. Another one, it sounds kind of silly, but this happens, is for wine drinkers, you get a bigger glass. You're starting to buy those big, massive, like, monkey head size goblets that you can pour half a bottle of wine in. And you do that because it's like, oh, it's so much work to refill it or whatever it is. So you just get one of those big ass things and you start filling it up. That's another sign, believe it or not, that there's drinking on the uptake. Why would you get those big ones unless it's just for convenience, which really what it is. Another one is, okay, for me as this alcohol abuser, what I would call alcohol abuse is when people left like half a bottle of beer on the table or a third of a glass of wine and they left. Like, how did you not finish it? And you might have been one of those people who can just leave it, but now you may find that it's hard for you to leave that. Like, you feel like you have to drink that last half a bottle of beer or a third of a glass of wine. So that's another sign that you might be starting to uptake your alcohol. Another one is also, you're really looking forward to that 5 o'clock, recess bell from your work. You really want to go and grab that drink. And again, it's not something you're not be drinking during the day or anything, but you're really looking forward to it a little bit more than normal. And so that's a sign, something to really watch out for. And there's nothing wrong with socializing after work and doing all that. But if it starts, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, even noon, it's starting to kick in, like, well, I can't wait till work is done so I can have that drink. That is another thing just to be wary of. Another one is weight gain, right? Inflammation, bloating, all that kind of stuff, and definitely, and a lot of times in the face. That's where I would get it. Most people do. And if you find that it has nothing to do with, you know, all the turkey and all the stuff we had, or just overeating, because also for a lot of people, when you drink, you get the munchies. At least I did. And that happens too. You start to get that. It's like that David Hasselhoff eating the hamburger, kind of drunk. Remember that video? Anyway, that's horrible. So weight gain, that's a physical sign that we might be be drinking too much. Another one is sleep, having a hard time sleeping. And we all know when we've had like overdone it, and we have that 3 in the morning, like I need to drink 3 liters of water kind of pasties. But even having an extra glass of wine or 2 in the evening, that can also disrupt your sleep. Alcohol is great for getting you to sleep, absolutely, but it's a very shallow sleep. It doesn't get you into a deep sleep. And I know for myself, when I got sober, one of the biggest things, the hallelujah, was when I had my first good real sleep in about 10 years. It was like, oh. So disruption of sleep is another sign that you might be upping your alcohol use. Another one is, it's a little bit deeper, but the feeling of just being down. I mean, alcohol is a depressant. So, you know, we tend to have it so we can uplift ourselves, or if we're having a good time, to really like, if it's good, let's make it better. And that's fine. That's part of festivities. That's what that is. But when we have continued use and we're starting to increase our use, it actually has the opposite effect. It actually starts to bring us down. We start to feel, because just chemically, there's a lot going on. And also how we're using it psychologically. And that starts to shift. So that's another one as well. Another one that's a little bit deeper is we're starting to shirk our responsibilities. I had, you know, someone told me, alcohol is the great ambition killer. And it is. When we get into after a couple of glasses of wine, I'm talking regularly, everything just goes, I'll do it later, or I'll do it tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. So if you find that your to-do list, or the things that you want to do, going out with people, or you're hanging out with your kids and doing stuff like that, keeps getting pushed away because you know you got to have your other glass of wine or that other beer or 2, then that's another sign that you're increasing your alcohol use. And another one for sure is your tolerance. You've noticed that one glass that used to just kind of like you chill out and really you can exhale, and you have that one glass. Now you need 2 or 3 and 4. And so you're building your tolerance, right? And if you find that, you know, you're out with friends and you need to knock back a few more to kind of get at the same pace that you've been increasing. So these are just, you know, these are just very simple, very obvious, and maybe not so obvious ways and indicators that your alcohol use is starting to increase. Now, it's not something to panic and freak out about, but a lot of people, they just know that something, pardon me, is not right, and that this is situational. So again, I get you know, messages often from people saying, I've noticed I'm starting to use alcohol in a way that I didn't before, or I'm starting to drift towards that because I'm feeling uncertain. So there's different reasons why we do that. And like I said, most of it is situational. But if you're starting to notice this and it's not stopping, or the situation that maybe you know, precipitated this is starting to continue, then that's something you may want to really investigate and, you know, give yourself a break, you know, take a stop. And if you're having a hard time stopping, like I can tell myself, you know, I don't worry about how many Brussels sprouts I eat. You know, like if someone said stop eating Brussels sprouts tomorrow, I'd be like, okay, no problem. That should be the same way for alcohol. And if you find that it is challenging, that's just something to investigate. Again, this is not all indication of addiction or substance abuse, but it's just something for you to be aware of, because that can be an indicator, and it is an indicator of something else that's going on deeper. Alcohol is, it's a symptom, really, of a deeper problem. So if this is something that you notice in yourself, I mean, by all means, you know, check that out. You can also message me and let me know, you know, maybe I can help you with that. That's something that you can look into. But certainly, you know, getting out there, exercising, making sure that, you know, mentally fit, spiritually fit, if that is something that's important to you, and really kind of taking things, putting things back into sort of a stasis. Let's think of you know, a stool with 3 legs, mind, body, and spirit. And if one of those is starting to go, it's you know, you're off center, you can't quite sit properly. So sometimes it's just that, and when we feel that off center, we might reach for something to kind of fix things underneath here, if that makes sense, but that's just temporary. So I just wanted to leave you with that. Jason, Rose, Dewan, how are you? Nice to see you. Happy New Year. And thanks for being here. So again, if these are things that you notice and you kind of can check the boxes on, you can always message me or just look and just feel what's missing. What am I lacking? What am I replacing that with? And hopefully get you right back in balance. So if you have any questions, you can fire off in the replay. If you're watching this on replay, just hashtag replays. I know that you're there. And leave me any messages or comments. I'd love to hear from you. So with that, Happy New Year again. Happy 2020. I know it's going to be awesome. And I will see you soon, guys. Thank you so much.